So when Isambard Kingdom Brunel built the Great Western Railway, he wanted his trains to go to London Euston, but after a disagreement with Robert Stephenson, he ended up building London Paddington instead. And 189 years later in Euston, we have a problem, because on the 17th of November 2024, the Great Western trains are running into London Euston station. So the train we're travelling on is a pair of Great Western Railway Class 800 IETs. And we're travelling on 800 036 and 800 002, and this is 1Z20, the 1127 Carmarthen to London Euston, which stops at Swindon at 1419, but was running late, and Swindon is also the place I've started today's video at. So our journey today will take 1 hour and 12 minutes between Swindon and London Euston, stopping at Reading and Ealing Broadway for staffing reasons, and we're going by Wilson Junction to join the West Coast Main Line. We departed Swindon 7 minutes late, as we start what would have been if Isambard Kingdom Brunel did get into London Euston. And the reason we're going to London Euston instead of London Paddington is due to engineer works at Old Oak Common for HS2. And while doing this journey, I shall be travelling first class on board this train. I shall reveal the price towards this ticket at the end of the video, but if I do look a bit stressed, it has been drama getting to Swindon this morning, and my seat number is E50, which has London Euston in the reservation. So unfortunately the train I'm on is mostly busy, so most of this video will be voiceover. Let's try something different for a change. Most of the journey we shall take with this IET takes us up the Great Western Main Line, and we pass a disused station, which the platforms are still there. Wantage Road, opened in 1846, but closed to passengers in 1964 and freight in 1965. We now pass the junction station at Didcot Parkway, which is where the lines towards Oxford divert off the Great Western Main Line. This was the original route to Birmingham Snow Hill, until the new North Main Line was built between Old Oak Common and Banbury by what is now the Chiltern Main Line from South Ruislip to Banbury. Before we get to Reading, we're passing through stations like Choseley, Goring by Streatley, Pangbourne and Tilehurst, before we pass Reading Train Care Depot with a load of Class 387s on display. And then we soon arrive into Reading for a staff changeover. So we have now made it to Reading, but unfortunately no one's getting on and off because this is a crew change. But the next part is to come further down the line as we head to London Euston. So after the staff changeover, we departed Reading, and the reason passengers weren't allowed to alight or board the train was to ease overcrowding, even though people were standing up and sitting on the floor in the aisles. Sadly, GWR, you did not get that right, as they stated this was reservation only. We're now passing the 1871 station Maidenhead. There was a terminus station Maidenhead, which was located east of the Thames. And speaking of the River Thames, we are crossing over the river by the Maidenhead Viaduct, which was designed by Isambard Kingdom Brunel. A few stations later we passed Slough, and we've gone through this station a bit slower, and there is a reason why we've gone through slowly at Slough. It's coming up because we cross over from the fast line to the slow line, as we'd be travelling on the up slow to London Paddington as far as Ealing Broadway. This is also due to something exciting happening later on, but in the meantime we're passing Langley Station. So we now pass West Drayton, which means we're now in the Greater London area and 13 miles away from London Paddington, even though we're heading to London Euston. So as we carry on the journey, we're passing the lovely Handwell station. I do recommend visiting that station one day. And then the Greenford branch line joins onto the Great Western Main Line as we head into West Ealing station at a very slow pace. It'd be interesting one day to ride the Greenford branch line with a Class 230. And then suddenly we stop outside Ealing Broadway. At the time I had no idea why, but it turns out that a pilot man was boarding the train, who was trained up on the route between Ealing Broadway to London Euston, and to assist the driver. But we soon start moving again and pass through Ealing Broadway station. But the best part about this journey is coming right up. So the reason this is the best part of the journey, or the exciting part, as we're about to travel on some rare track which passenger trains don't get to travel on, as we divert off the Great Western Main Line and we enter Acton Yard, as there's some locomotives on display in the yard. Also, we are passing adjacent to Acton Main Line station, but this is where they're starting the engineering work around Old Oak Common, as there was plenty of engineering work happening as we slowly pass through and heading towards the North London line at Acton Wells Junction. Now, I did mention earlier about the new North Main Line, and we're passing over it, but there's not much to see apart from the Central Line these days, where a 1992 tube stock train waited to enter the platform North Acton, and you can see North Acton station from a distance. As we leave the North London line at Acton Wells Junction, we are heading towards the West Coast Main Line at Willesden Junction. As we join at Willesden West London Junction, you can see a Class 378 departing Willesden Junction on the North London line, and that is the end of the rare track we shall be using to get from the Great Western Main Line to the West Coast Main Line. And just like that, we are passing some stations on the Watford DC line, or soon to be the Lioness line, and also the Bakerloo line, like at Queen's Park, which some of the old platforms on the National Rail network are still there. Now our journey started to get closer to London Euston as we pass the site of the former Primrose Hill station, which is a freight only line for trains to go onto the North London line. And we soon arrive at Platform 1 at London Euston, as we shall be terminating on Platform 1, as Platform 1 and 2 are being used for Great Western Railway services, with one service per hour to South Wales and one service per hour to the southwest of England, like Plymouth or Penzance. So after we arrive into London Euston, it's time to get off the train. I do have some words to say, and I even let you know how much I paid for this first class ticket from Swindon to London Euston. So we have now made it to London Euston, and don't worry, I'm quite safe here. But travelling from Swindon to London Euston on Great Western Railway has really been very interesting. Sorry that I couldn't do much piece to cameras in this video because the train was so busy. But what I've noticed was with that first class journey that I took, because I spent about £35 with a rail card for that first class ride, and there wasn't even any drinks or refreshments. I think that's probably one of the worst first class rides I've ever taken, but to be honest, I don't really care, because riding from Swindon to London Euston with Isambard Kingdom Brunel's dream becoming a reality has really been wonderful. But if you want to see a journey from Gloucester to Swindon, I'm going to put a video right here. Feel free to give that a click. The people on screen now, YouTube channel members, patron supporters, thank you for supporting the channel. I've been SimOnTrains and hope to see you at the next railway station so we can embark on a new journey together. Thanks for watching. I just got that in before they interrupted me.